In our ports and in our airports, the UK Border Agency is fighting a constant battle against smugglers.
I'm arresting you. Oh, dear me.
At Gatwick Airport, a flight has just come in from Port of Spain in Trinidad and Tobago. The Caribbean is a known problem area for the production and distribution of Class A drugs, and UK Border Agency officers are closely monitoring passengers as they pass through the airport. A lone male passenger has been stopped by officers. He claims to have come to the UK for a family wedding.
Can I just ask you a little bit more about you said you're over here for your sister's wedding? Yeah?
On vacation, but she told me she's getting married, so I will attend at the same time.
All right, so you had initially planned to come over here for a vacation, and then you found out your sister was getting married. Is there any other family coming from Trinidad for your sister's wedding?
My mother's supposed to come up.
And when is she arriving in the UK? Do you know?
Friday.
Friday. Do you know which airport she's coming into?
This airport.
She's coming into this airport.
What is the name of this airport again?
The name of this airport? The name of this airport is London Gatwick.
Okay, Gatwick.
Okay, you've flown into London Gatwick today.
Having looked in the man's suitcase, Officer Sarah chats to colleagues with concerns about the man's possessions.
The clothing, it's all manner of sizes, ranging from medium through to XXL. They're quite new bags. The shoes are not the same size. There's nothing in there that I would expect somebody to wear to a wedding.
Officers working in immigration have already called a phone number the man has provided for his sister.
The sister apparently has made no mention to the immigration officer of the wedding.
With too many holes in the man's story, and with reason to doubt the purpose of his visit to the UK, Sarah is granted permission to conduct a search of the passenger.
There are some things that I'm not satisfied with that you've told me in terms of your reasons for coming over to the UK. So for that reason, okay, I've had authorisation to do a rub-down search on you. It's going to be some of the male officers that will do the search on you. Okay, they're going to take you into a room away from the channels here, but they'll explain to you exactly what they're going to do when they get into the room. Okay, because I want to make sure that you don't have anything with you that you shouldn't be bringing into the country.
The man is led away as concerns grow that he may be a drug smuggler. To ensure all items brought into the country are legal and properly declared, UK Border Agency officers work round the clock at Gatwick every day. In addition, an elite group of sniffer dogs who are trained solely in the detection of illegal drugs also patrol daily. A call has come in about a discovery sniffer dog Megan has made in the cargo hold.
As you see, she's just found it, and that's what she's doing. She's doing a freeze stare. Yay! He's a clever girl. What we've got here basically is a consignment from South America. As Megan's gone round it, she's indicating, because there's obviously smell coming out there.
As Megan has given her award for indicating on the package, officers need to investigate exactly what it is she's found.
It certainly feels like it's some sort of books, probably sort of heavyweight books, which we've seen in the past with the pages actually sort of taken out the centres of the books and drugs concealed inside.
Though officers are confident drugs are present, they must wait for permission to examine the contents. In the meantime, they rebag the packages so they can be used as a training aid for other sniffer dogs.
It's what we've done now, we've brought our other dogs over so we can get them live rewarded. It's probably the best training we can do is in situ with live gear, so hopefully all our dogs will come in, get rewarded on the scent, and then it just improves their abilities for later on.
The introduction of sniffer dogs to the cargo hold has been extremely successful, allowing packages to be assessed in a fraction of the time.
On a daily basis, we get sort of 5-6 tons of parcels and mail come through. So the dogs will be able to sort of do that within half hour. To do it manually, you're talking hours and hours to actually manually go through each item of mail.
On this test, all 3 dogs successfully indicate on the packages, but officers will need to wait to see if there are drugs inside. In the airport's North Terminal, the male passenger, who supposedly travelled to the UK for his sister's wedding, has been taken for a body search.
His demeanour didn't seem right when I was talking to him at the gate. He said that basically his sister has paid half the ticket to come over here and half of the hotel booking fee. However, immigration have spoken to his sister and she said, no, I've not given him any money for the ticket, but I am going to be paying half the hotel fee.
Even though nothing is found during the search, officers still suspect the man may be smuggling drugs inside his body. A swab test is conducted on his shoes. Swallowers will often secrete traces of drugs in the sweat in their feet. And a small trace for the presence of cocaine increases their suspicion.
Okay, we're going to ask him if he'll go through the X-ray machine.
Oh, okay.
The man is taken to the body scanning machine to find out if he's got any packages inside him.
Watch. We'll just ask you to stand on this conveyor belt like this, okay? And then when we push the button, we'll move over towards the wall, okay?
Exhale, hold your breath, don't breathe in, don't breathe in. Okay, carry on breathing now, that's fine. Breathe as normal.
Do you want to follow me?
The results from the X-ray are conclusive.
I think there is something there.
He looks very full up, this guy. Does look very competitive there.
The images on these screens do look like there is some kind of mass there, so it's quite possible that he has got packages inside him.
Sarah breaks the news to the passenger.
Now, I've had a look at the X-ray images in there, okay, and I think that there may be something inside you. I think you may have swallowed possibly some packages of drugs. I'm arresting you on suspicion of being involved in the importation of a controlled drug. You do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention when questioned something which you later rely on in court. Anything you do say may be given in evidence. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
The man is put in handcuffs and escorted to the airport's custody suite. Officers have a duty of care to ensure that the packages of drugs pass through him as swiftly and safely as possible.
In due course, he'll be interviewed, and for the duration of his time with us, he'll be monitored 24 hours a day, and he will use a special toilet and pass the packages that he swallowed as nature takes its course.
Since we've been in the custody suite here, Mr. Williams has been into the toilet twice. He's not passed any packages, so he's been put into a white paper suit in the custody suite here in the cell, and then we'll be transporting him up to Heathrow in the prison van.
The man was monitored at Gatwick Airport for a further 3 hours before being taken to Heathrow. He eventually passed 41 packages filled with cocaine. At the airport's cargo hold, officers have been given permission to search the 2 bags that sniffer dog Megan indicated contained drugs. The bags are taken to the cargo officers, where it's the moment of truth. As Officer Allen predicted, the smugglers have used book casings as a disguise.
There's all these different books in here. They're all cling film wrapped.
But their attempt at concealing whatever's inside was no match for sniffer dog Megan's sensitive nose.
The book's been cut out. It's quite a crude concealment. Obviously, it doesn't take much finding on opening that book.
See big packages of white powder coming out is it's a good sign that my dogs have done something right. So it's a celebration time, I think.
but not before the packages are tested to see if the white powder definitely is cocaine.
See, it's gone blue, indicating the presence of cocaine. I'm just estimating at the moment there's probably a couple of kilos per book. Obviously, we'll weigh it and get a proper total at the end.
It's a massive seizure, weighing in at over 20 kilograms and has a street value in the region of £1 million. Officers are delighted in the knowledge that one customer will not be receiving their illegal goods.
It's turned out to be a good result today, so well chuffed.
At Gatwick Airport, border agency officers are paying close attention to holidaymakers returning from Montego Bay in Jamaica. Passengers are being observed as they pass through immigration, and Officer Lorinda's attention is drawn to a white-haired male who sat on a passenger transporter. She follows him down to the luggage reclaim area and waits to intercept him as he passes through the green Nothing to Declare channel.
Hello there, sir. Are you travelling on your own today? OK, can I see your passport and your tickets, please?
The man says he's been working out in Jamaica for the past 10 months and has travelled back to the UK for medical treatment.
You're fully aware it's illegal to import into the UK drugs, firearms and decent officing material? Yep. OK, super.
Oh, I don't take drugs anyway, so...
Just need to check that you understand it's illegal to bring them in anyway.
I'm doing this one.
OK. Right, just bear with me. I'll have a look through that in a second. All right.
Lorinda opens the man's suitcase to search for any illicit materials, and straight away she makes an unusual discovery.
Why have you got one inside one?
Well, because when I come back...
So you're going to fill it up whilst you're here? What kind of things are you going to be buying then?
Oh, nothing really. Sometimes some tool stuff.
Right. We'll put that one back in your bag so it's safe.
Lorinda opens up the second of the man's suitcases.
And you've got another one inside another one?
That's it, yeah. Well, that's what I'm going to carry my hand luggage on a plane.
Right, OK. Yeah, is he like the Russian doll?
So what do you want me to do, smile now or what?
The man is clearly in good spirits, but Lorinda must thoroughly check the contents of his cases.
Right, am I going to find another one in this one?
No, that's it.
That's it, is it?
That's it, yeah. Is it?
This is all you've got for a couple of months' stay?
I got all my stuff over there.
What, are your sisters?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
OK.
After a meticulous search of the man's possessions, Lorinda is happy he's carrying nothing illegal and he's free to go.
OK, Mr. Hitchens.
Everything's fine, eh?
Everything's wonderful, thank you very much. Yep. That's fine. OK.
It's the first time I've ever been searched. I've been travelling all over the world with them. So anyway, that's their job. Because they could have found bombs on there, right? Explosives on there. So that's their job.
Gatwick is the second busiest airport in the UK. With hundreds of flights arriving daily, there are thousands of bags that need to be checked. Drug detection dogs are employed to assess bags before they're reclaimed by passengers in the baggage hall. This afternoon, luggage is being scanned from a Lithuanian flight, and Officer Hazel finds one bag on the X-ray which he suspects contains a large quantity of cigarettes.
If the cigarettes have originated in the European Union, their allowance is 3,200. If they're non-EU cigarettes, they're only entitled to 200. So we have to work out where those cigarettes have come from. But until we speak to passengers, we won't know.
Once the bag is identified, it's placed back on the carousel for the passenger to pick it up. Officers will observe closely to see who collects it and then stop them for questioning.
Hello there. Hello. Where have you just flown in from? Just bring your bag. Are you travelling together? Yeah. Yes, just bring your bags over here for me for a minute, please. Sorry. Do you have your passports, please? Yes. Do you speak English? No.
Only one of the women speaks English, so she'll act as a translator for a friend.
She lives in my place.
Do you have anything to declare to customs?
No.
Do you have any alcohol, cigarettes or tobacco that you've bought?
I have alcohol
Okay. Can you ask her if she has any alcohol?
No, she doesn't have any alcohol.
What about cigarettes or tobacco?
Yes, she has cigarettes.
Oh, right, okay. How many?
She has about 10 cartons.
10 cartons. Okay, let's have a quick look.
Hazel knows from the X-ray that the passengers are lying about the number of cigarettes they're carrying, so she checks their suitcases for the evidence. If the cigarettes have been bought outside of the EU, they'll all be seized.
Where did you buy these? In Lithuania?
But the writing on the packets, along with the way in which the cigarettes have been packed, makes Hazel think otherwise.
Why have you done this? I'm just wondering why she's wrapped them up in bras and things in her underwear.
The 10 cartons the women declared they're carrying is a gross underestimate.
4,500. Well, it's got 880.
But it's not just the quantity that's concerning Hazel.
I don't think that's Lithuanian writing. We will check.
Translating the writing on the packets will give officers an idea about where the cigarettes have come from.
Look up nicotine.
Okay.
The writing on the packets looks Russian.
So that nicotine is the Russian version.
Yeah.
They look Russian.
Naughty people, they're Russians.
With over 22 times the legal limit of cigarettes each, the goods will be seized from the women, unless they can prove they purchased them within the EU. It's not just passengers who attempt to smuggle illegal items. In the freight terminal, Officer Helen and sniffer dog Bren have just made a discovery on a batch of packages that have come in from Bridgetown in Barbados.
About half an hour ago, we came down to go over the packages that have come in. We offload all of this from the pallet. We empty it all out onto the floor. The dogs can then run over it and they'll indicate if they need to. If they find something, they'll indicate. She showed interest in a box, which we put out again, just so that he is completely sure that it's there. And that's his indication there. And that's the box that I'm looking for.
Bren's indication strongly suggests the package contains drugs.
His indication there was to freeze and to literally stare at the box. His tail sometimes wags a lot, whereas if he's really, really focused on it, he'll literally be completely still.
Gatwick's sniffer dogs play a vital role in intercepting drugs being illegally imported into the country.
This is what's inside the box. Doesn't really smell of anything. What the officer's got there is a cocaine reagent, and it normally comes out pink, but if it goes blue, then it tests positive. There we go. It's just gone blue straight away. It's tested positive to cocaine, so it's actually impregnated T-shirts or clothing with cocaine.
Bren's partnership with Helen was only forged 12 months ago, but already the pair have made a huge number of detections, both in the freight terminal and on passengers.
He's actually been quite successful for his first year. You're normally given a year or so to make sure that they know what they're looking for, their scent library is wide enough, and yeah, he's done really well for his first year. So I'm very, very happy and very impressed. Run up. Good lad, well done. Good boy.
Back in the airport's south terminal, Officer Hazel is still questioning the Lithuanian women who have both been found with 22 times their legal limit of cigarettes.
These are Russian cigarettes. That means that you're only entitled to bring in 200 of them.
But we bought them in Lithuania.
You don't have the receipt, though.
I understand, but I didn't know that I need to have receipt.
So how much did you pay for all these?
Oh, you mean carton or
Well, for all of them. If you bought them all at the same time, you'd know how much you'd spent.
No, we didn't buy at the same time.
You see, if you don't have the money to buy them all at once, that suggests to me that you're bringing them here to sell them to make money.
No, she didn't.
Well, that's how it comes across to us as customs officers. So here you've got 4,800. How long will that take us to get through those?
Few months.
But Hazel has spotted something else that adds more doubt to the story.
The number on the side here is exactly the same on all of these.
On all of them.
That would lead me to believe that you bought them all at the same time and that you bought them all in the same place.
4,000. 1, 2,
Oh, so now she's bought them all at the same time, has she? So now you're changing your story.
I didn't have any story, okay?
You told me that she bought them on different days, and now you've just spoken to her again, and now you're changing what you're telling me. You can't expect me to believe you now. Because of the things you've told me and the things that we found out, we are seizing the cigarettes from you, okay? Seizing yours from you, seize your cigarettes from you. We believe that you're bringing them here to sell. If you can provide me with the paperwork that proves that you bought them in Lithuania and that they're tax paid, that's a different matter.
Tell you, I don't have anybody in Lithuania who still have my receipts, okay?
The threat of losing her cigarettes is making the woman argumentative.
Saying that I can bring 3,200.
That's if you bring them in from a European Union country, and that's where those cigarettes have originated from. These haven't. These are Russian cigarettes.
But we bought them in Lithuania, okay? And we bring
But
them...
you need to prove that to me.
Okay.
Personally, I think they're probably here to sell them. They're insisting that that's not the case, but she kept changing the things that she was saying to me about how and when they'd bought them, what quantities they'd bought them in, so none of it really made any sense, and she got quite cross by the end of it, I think. That's the way it goes. They're seized, so if she wants to complain, she can do.
The man who attempted to bring cocaine into the UK by swallowing 41 packages pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 6 years in prison. In our ports and in our airports, the UK Border Agency is fighting a constant battle against smugglers.
I'm arresting you. Oh, dear me.
It's early morning at Gatwick Airport, and a flight has just arrived from Montego Bay in Jamaica, a place known to the UK Border Agency as a hotspot for the trade of illegal drugs.
Get on.
Vigilant officers have been using sniffer dogs to assess luggage from the flight, and they've identified a brown suitcase which they suspect contains illegal drugs. In the immigration hall, passengers are being observed as they come off the flight. One man with a white jacket and red shirt has been seen to be acting very nervously. As he waits at the luggage carousel for his suitcase, he appears to be getting more and more anxious. He spots the brown suitcase that's suspected of containing drugs, goes to pick it up, but quickly leaves it on the belt. As the brown suitcase comes past again, the man stares at it intently and seems unsure about whether to pick it up. He later leaves with someone else's red suitcase. But as he passes through the customs channels, he's stopped to answer a few questions.
How long have you been away for? 4 weeks, yeah? What's the purpose of your trip? Did you pay for your ticket yourself? I see, right, okay. Where are you off to from here? Where do you live? Croydon. Okay. This is your bag? This is your only bag? Yeah?
The officer checks the luggage tag with the man's travel ticket, which prompts him to have a change of heart.
Your bag, huh? Do you know where your bag is? Take that bag?
The man is escorted back to the baggage hall to look for his real suitcase, but it's already been found. It's the same brown suitcase he was staring at on the carousel, and which is thought to contain drugs.
Okay, right, the time is now 11:26, okay? And we're listening to the being involved in the interception of controlled drugs.
He's led away to a private interview room for further questioning.
George, can you take some details just in that, and then we'll get rid of that, I think. I'm sure it's got nothing to do with him. I think it's a female's name.
Officers look inside the red suitcase to see who it might belong to.
I think he realised that people were sort of onto him possibly, and so what he's done is he's just picked up a random bag. He's taken the tags off of the bag, which associates him to the other bag, and then he's just picked up this bag to walk through customs.
With the red suitcase on its way back to its rightful owner, officers can now concentrate on the contents of the man's real bag, which they strongly suspect contains illegal drugs. He's led away to the airport's custody suite, where the contents of his suitcase can be formally assessed. At Gatwick's South Terminal, passengers have just landed from Madrid. In the immigration hall, officers are looking out for any signs of suspicious behavior. Passengers who appear nervous will be pulled over in the customs channels. Officers will then check to ensure they're not carrying anything illegal. A Brazilian passenger from the Madrid flight has been spotted sweating profusely, so officers take him aside to search his suitcase.
Basically, he came through immigration. It was the usual sort of nervous, didn't really answer immigration's questions and that.
And how long are you going to be in the UK?
No, I'm leaving tonight.
Okay, going back to Brazil?
Yes, back to Brazil.
And you've travelled all over Europe, is that what?
I don't understand.
On this trip,
Okay.
you've been to lots of places, yes?
Yes, Barcelona, Madrid, Istanbul, and London.
Do you want to sit down? Because you look like you're about to fall down.
No, it's okay.
You're okay. All right, so I understand from listening to you in immigration that it was a business trip.
Okay, yes, it is.
Is that right?
Yes, I was with my representatives here and in Istanbul, Barcelona, and Madrid.
Just for meetings or
Yes,
what?
meetings, and of course some tourism too, okay? I don't know why I'm nervous. It's just because it never happened to me to be so questioned like as this time. Yes.
But you attend meetings all the time, yeah, for your
Yes.
job? So you must be familiar with travelling
Yes,
and being
yes.
questioned by people?
Yes,
Yeah?
I
So
don't
why
know.
why is it a problem now?
No reason for.
Okay. Calm down.
The man's anxiety leads the officer to doubt his story, so his bags will be thoroughly searched for any illicit items. Officer Fitz assists by swab testing his possessions to see if he's come into contact with any drugs. The swab is then taken for analysis using a machine that can detect even the tiniest traces.
Nothing on the iron trap.
This time, the swab test is clear, but the man's nervous behavior is still alarming. His suitcase is X-rayed to check for unlawful concealments.
It's just like, why would you be that nervous? That's scary.
Was it his first time?
He's a regular traveller.
No, it's fine.
Nothing is found in his belongings, but officers want to check he's not hiding anything on his body.
Just a rub-down search. You understand?
You don't understand.
All right. I'm going to ask two male officers to take you to a private room and give you a rub-down search. Like you go, when you go through security and you get patted down.
No problem.
Yeah.
One way or another, they'll find out why he's so nervous.
With you, yeah?
I pack it.
At Gatwick's custody suite, the man who's been arrested on suspicion of importing a suitcase full of illegal drugs is being checked in. The brown suitcase he tried to ditch in the baggage hall is taken away to be examined.
The whole bag together was 29 kilos. Now there is some stuff in there, but I would think that there's probably approximately 20 kilos of cannabis here.
8 blocks of what looks like herbal cannabis are pulled from the man's case. It's no wonder he was keen to avoid being caught.
Sit yourself down. All right, just need to take your shoes and...
The man is held in a cell whilst the packages of drugs are weighed.
16 kilos, 16.070. Okay.
I had to cut every one of this. It looks like it is herbal cannabis. I mean, as soon as you cut into it, there's a quite a strong pungent smell. I mean, it's actually surrounding the whole room now. But I had to check all of them because sometimes they have mixed cocaine with cannabis.
A field test is done to confirm the substance definitely is herbal cannabis.
The positive indication should be a
kind of like a reddish colour. See, there we go. That's a positive indication for herbal cannabis.
With a street value of more than £45,000, it's an excellent result for the officers. All the man can do now is await his fate. In the airport's South Terminal, the man whose nervous behaviour and profuse sweating has aroused suspicion is being taken for a body search.
Okay, if you just put your bags up onto the bench for me, yeah. Yeah, just put the bags there. And if you just want to take a seat over on the far end.
I'm very nervous. I don't know why.
Very nervous?
Yes.
Okay.
Despite his nerves, the man consents to the search.
Yeah, next one. That's great, that's fine.
Okay.
His shoes are removed so they can be swab tested for any traces of drugs.
If he's got drugs internally, then he'll sweat and it will come out. The sweat partly will be in the shoes. So if this tests positive, then he's either used or he's swallowed.
Once again, the swab is clear, but Officer Fitz has uncovered some revealing secrets.
Yeah, he did actually admit that he's actually quite nervous. I sort of like, yeah. I mean, he had quite a few pills in his little small holdall. So obviously there was one for sort of like for mare sickness, and there's like these other blue pills. So I said, "Oh, what are these?" And he's like,
The man confesses to have recently taken Viagra, which may explain his nervous behaviour.
This sort of thing hasn't happened to him before since he's been travelling for so long. So I think he's just very nervous that he's had to go through all the security appearances. So, but apart from that, he is such a nice chap. Okay then, sir. Okay. Here's your shoes. Yep, no problem. Want to put those back on?
With all the searches now complete and the reasons for the man's anxiety exposed, he's now free to continue his onward journey.
Thank you. Okay, thank you very much.
At Gatwick Airport, the UK Border Agency have a duty of care to assess all passengers and items entering the country. Each year, officers have to check thousands of tons of freight passing through the airport.
Right, here you go. This looks like the one.
Today, Officer Sarah is in the cargo holding area after being asked to check a large number of packages that have just come in from the Far East.
What we've got here is a consignment that's originated in from Hong Kong. It's marked up as clothing accessories, so we've just come over to have a closer look to see what's inside here. What we've got is what looks like large spools here, which look like there's some kind of braiding. Oh. If you open up the plastic, there's quite a strong smell of tobacco coming out of here. Yeah, it smells quite strong.
With suspicions aroused, there's only one way to find out what's inside.
Let's have a look. Yeah, there we go.
If each of the reels is filled with tobacco, it will be a concealment worth many thousands of pounds.
This consignment is marked originally from Hong Kong, where tobacco, loose tobacco, is obviously a lot cheaper than here in the UK. Duty levels are quite high, and there's a huge black market in smuggled tobacco. And this consignment here is about 130 boxes.
The reels of tobacco are taken away to be weighed. Officers need to work out how much they found before investigating where it's come from.
There's three reels here, 40 kilos. If you take off the cardboard and the string, it's probably about 10 kilos I'd estimate in each bale.
The unpaid duty for 10 kilos of loose tobacco is worth £1,600.
Okay, 10 kilos. It is a huge amount of effort, but considering the amount of money that these gangs are going to make, for them it's obviously worth going to this effort.
In addition to the risk of smoking, there could be additional products in this tobacco which are even worse for your health, and the usual nicotine and tar.
With the haul weighing over 650 kilos, the lost revenue to the tax system would have been over £100,000. It's the biggest ever seizure of loose tobacco at Gatwick.
It's just a routine examination by the guys, and obviously very good work in picking this up.
In Gatwick's South Terminal, a flight has just landed from Tripoli in Libya. As passengers make their way through baggage reclaim, Officer Helen and sniffer dog Bran are checking passengers for the presence of drugs. A lone female passing through customs is of great interest to Bran, so she's stopped for further checks by Officer Hazel.
Okay, you want to come with me? Come on, bring your bags around here for me.
Almost immediately, the woman's story seems unconvincing.
So where will you stay in England? Whereabouts in Bristol? You don't know? Do you have anybody meeting you here at Gatwick? Who's meeting you?
A friend.
You just said you don't have any friends or family in England.
I don't have anything, but I just called him.
The woman's story keeps changing, which is giving Hazel cause for concern.
I'm just going to go and speak to my colleague, OK? If you stay here, just finish repacking your bag. Can I have a search on this girl, please? When I asked her if she had friends or family in England, first of all, she said no. And then she said that she'd called somebody here and that they were going to meet her at the airport. She's got £900. She's really nervous, but she hasn't got a proper address.
Coupled with the sniffer dog indication, Hazel is convinced there's more to the woman than meets the eye.
She's so nervous. She's only got £900, so I'm going to get her, well, I'm going to do the search of person and see if she's got anything. Right, OK. Because the dog was sniffing at you, he's a drug detector dog. So I need to make sure that you're not carrying any drugs on you or in you, OK? All right, myself and my colleague are going to do a search of your person, OK? It has been authorised by your senior colleague. All right, do your bag up first of all. OK, if you bring your bag and follow me. Go into the room for me. Just go in, take a seat. OK, can you just check that there's nothing on the floor? Nothing's been left in here, has it? Well, I just need you to sign there to say that you're OK to be searched.
The officers find nothing during the search, but due to the dog indication, Hazel decides to do one more test.
OK, we have a machine here that x-rays you to make sure that you've not got anything inside of you, OK? The machine's just in the hall there, so it won't take very long at all.
If the woman is smuggling drugs internally, officers will know in a matter of minutes. It's the middle of the afternoon, and a flight has just come in from Moldova. Being outside the European Union, passengers have a strict cigarette allowance of just 200. In the baggage reclaim area, officers are closely monitoring a Moldovan passenger who has a prior history for smuggling cigarettes. As he heads through the green customs channel, Officer Fitz pulls him over for further questioning.
All right, sir. All right, where are you running from today? Sniff. Travelling on your own?
Sorry?
Travelling on your own? Are you travelling on your own?
Yes.
Yes, OK. Come here for a minute. How long have you been away for?
1 month.
1 month? And what was your purpose of your visit? Holiday?
No holiday.
Just holiday?
No holiday.
Right.
I live here and come back to my country.
Right. So you've been away on holiday?
Yes.
Right. Are you aware of your customs allowances? 1 carton of cigarettes, litre of spirits, and goods up to £390 worth. Yeah? And none of those items at all. OK. Well, I'll have a look in there. It's all right. I'll have a look. All right, move this over here.
With the man's previous history for smuggling cigarettes, Fitz knows not to take him at his word. And straight away, he finds a 200 pack of cigarettes. If the passenger's carrying any more, he'll have breached his allowance. A little deeper in the case, Fitz stumbles across a brown chocolate box, which is clearly being used to hide packs of cigarettes. As the box is opened, individual packs of cigarettes are found concealed within drawers. The man is way over his allowance, and he knows it.
Just for yourself. Why you put them in here for? Why have you put them in here? Basically, you were trying to hide them, weren't you?
I just put it.
Sorry?
I just put it. Not for business, just for myself.
I know they're for yourself, but you tried to hide them from me, didn't you?
I didn't know that this is a problem.
All right, and well, just answer me this question. Have you been stopped by customs before?
Huh?
Have you ever been stopped by customs before? Yes. Yeah. Okay. So obviously you should know them by now, shouldn't you? This is a seizure notice that say that I'm seizing 800 cigarettes from you. So I need your signature there, full name and date.
Lies and deceit are a challenge faced by officers every day.
This is a warning letter. If it happens again, it might be taken further, all right?
All of the man's cigarettes are seized once again. Fitz provides him with a guidance leaflet about his customs allowances.
Sorry? You've got it? Oh, you've got it. So you know then, do you? All right.
With all pretense dropped, the man is free to go. 800 cigarettes lighter. In one of Gatwick Airport's X-ray suites, a woman who's flown in from Libya has been taken for a full body scan.
390, thank you. You said you don't have an address to stay at in England? But you don't know where you're sleeping tonight? Okay. Right, okay, this is consent for X-ray examination, okay. Thank you.
The woman confirms she's happy to do the X-ray voluntarily.
Okay, what I need you to do is breathe in now. When the belt starts to move, breathe out slowly, okay?
With a suspicious and inconsistent story, there's good reason to put her through the X-ray. But finding nothing out of the ordinary, the woman is no longer suspected of importing illegal drugs. She's escorted back into the terminal. Despite no evidence for drugs, her reasons for being in the UK are still doubtful, so officers in immigration will investigate her story further.
Brought her back to immigration because I believe she's here to work. But it's out of my hands now. It's down to my immigration colleagues to decide what they do with her. Well, listen, I'm going to leave it with the immigration officers, OK? From a customs point of view, we're happy that you don't have anything you shouldn't have, OK? If you just take a seat, the immigration officers will be with you soon, OK? Just sit down, all right?
The woman was later interviewed by UK border agency officers working in immigration. She was eventually allowed to enter the UK on her student visa. The cannabis smuggler pleaded guilty to attempting to smuggle 16 kilograms into the UK. He's now serving 18 months in prison. In our ports and in our airports, the UK Border Agency is fighting a constant battle against smugglers.
I'm arresting you. Oh, dear me.
Coming up, after many years on the front line, nothing surprises Officer Fitz.
What is it you actually do?
I am a butcher, cut the chicken.
In Bristol, Officer Joe has become wise to the game.
They may be telling the truth. I suspect not.
And at Gatwick, Officer Chris uncovers a fortune.
How much money are you carrying today? 80,000. 80,000?
Yeah.
At Gatwick Airport, an incoming flight from Madrid has put UK Border Agency officers on high alert.
Obviously, we do tend to get connectors coming in from South America. So basically, that's the reason why we're using a dog for this, just to see if anything comes up.
The flight from Madrid is a known transit route for drug smugglers, so officers are carefully watching for any suspicious behaviour. One passenger who originally started his journey in Bolivia is of particular interest.
Yeah, it just seems a bit of an odd routing. He does seem quite nervous.
In the customs channels, sniffer dog Barney gets a chance to assess the passenger. But with no indication given, Officer Fitz takes him aside for further questioning.
Hello, sir. Hi. Where are you arriving from today?
Sorry?
Where are you arriving from today?
I came in. I left Bolivia after Argentina, Madrid, and I came in now here.
Right. Just want to come to one of the benches, just have a quick word. Okay. Are you aware that there are certain items you cannot bring into the UK?
No.
Yeah?
These things,
Such as drugs?
No.
Okay.
But
Firearms? Yeah,
No.
I just need to answer the questions
Yeah.
first, okay? Okay. There's certain things you can't bring into the UK, such as drugs, firearms, and obscene material involving minors. Do you have any of those items in you at
No.
all? Okay, then. Okay, if you leave that open, that's fine. We'll have a look at that.
With communication difficult, Fitz proceeds with searching the nervous man's suitcase.
Monopoly fan?
After a quick rummage, an unwelcome visitor rears its head.
Yeah. Something crawling in there. Looks like you picked up a visitor. Oh. Well, I'm quite glad you did that, not me. You picked up a traveller.
Yeah.
Right, you said you work, yes? What is it you actually do?
I am a butcher, cut the chicken.
Oh, you're a butcher?
After searching the suitcase, Fitz is alarmed to find a passport that doesn't belong to the man.
Okay, who is this?
This is for my sister-in-law living in London.
Why have you got her passport?
The daughter, the Vivian, is my sister-in-law. Sent this for give the mother because the mother and bring the daughter. You understand that?
Right. Okay.
But the communication barrier may still be a problem. Fitz remains suspicious of the man's story and his nervous behaviour. At Bristol Airport, a flight has just landed from Tenerife. Officers are x-raying the luggage coming off the flight, and straight away they found some bags which are stuffed with cigarettes.
These all full?
Yeah, I'll put that. These are all the same name, right?
These are all the same name.
Right.
At the moment it appears like we've got 3 bags full of cigarettes under the same name, so it looks like it could be a commercial amount, but we'll see.
Having identified 3 bags, they're put back on the luggage carousel. Officers head inside to see who will collect them. The bags have been checked in under one name, but 3 separate passengers picked them up. As anticipated, they walk straight through the Nothing to Declare channel, where Officer Joe is waiting to meet them.
All 3 of you, do you want to come over? And where have you arrived from today? You're all aware there are prohibitions and restrictions on entering the UK? Certain things you can't bring into the UK, such as controlled drugs, indecent and obscene material, firearms, explosies, things like that? You aware of these things?
Yeah.
Okay. You aware the Canary Islands is outside the European Union, so there's certain restrictions around to cigarettes, alcohol and tobacco you can bring through. You aware of that? No. Okay. Okay, do you have any cigarettes, alcohol, tobacco with you today?
Yeah.
Yeah, how much do you have?
42 sleeves.
42 sleeves each. Okay.
All 3 passengers are massively over their allowance.
Right, the allowance is 1 of these each. Okay?
Hey?
That's the allowance, 1 of these each.
Why is it one sleeve?
Why is it? Because Canary Islands is outside the European Union. So you're only allowed 200 cigarettes each or 250 grams of tobacco.
Well, I never knew that one. I thought it was, no?
That's why they're so cheap over there, because you haven't paid duty on the goods.
That's why I bought already. I didn't realise. I thought probably at that price.
But ignorance is no excuse. Travellers are required to know their allowances. Joe will have to unpack all 3 bags to find out just how big the haul is. In Gatwick, Officer Fitz is deciding what to do with the nervous Bolivian passenger who's been found carrying someone else's passport.
He says he's bringing his sister-in-law's daughter's passport over because obviously she wants her daughter here.
That's the reason why he's brought the passport over to get a visa.
The suspicious passport is taken to immigration to be checked. Meanwhile, the passenger is led away to be searched.
We have a lot of problems with drugs coming into the country, especially from South America.
I have problems.
No. I'm not saying that you have any problems. What I'm saying is there are...
I know.
You understand that? Yeah. We have problems with drugs coming into the country. Now, to satisfy myself that you have nothing on you at all, what I want to do is a search of person, which is basically a rub-down search of your body.
Whilst Fitz conducts a search of the passenger, his colleague Tony returns from immigration with the suspicious passport.
I've been down to the what they call the primary control point, which is the passport control, and I've spoken to the chief immigration officer down there and the forgery officer. They're satisfied that the child's passport is genuine, but they say there's no way that the passport would be brought here for a visa to be issued. They wouldn't issue a visa like that. It's also got a refusal for a visa stamp in the back from another country. So they're going to come up and have a word with the gentleman and quite possibly hang on to the passport.
Nothing is found during the search of the passenger, so officers swab test his shoes.
See what happens again.
If he's carrying packages internally, traces of drugs could be found in the sweat from his feet. And a high reading for cocaine makes officers suspect that he could be a swallower.
What we've done is, we've done a swab on your shoes. A substance has been detected of cocaine. All right? So, the time is 17:55, and I'm arresting you on suspicion of being involved on the importation of a controlled drug internally.
The man is led away for a full-body X-ray.
What I need you to do is take a deep breath in, then out, then breathe in again, and then when we'll tell you to breathe out, that's when it'll start rolling, all right? Okay. Okay, to the end. Stand to the end. Breathe out. That's it.
But it quickly becomes apparent that he hasn't swallowed any drugs.
Negative. Yeah, okay. That's fine.
Clear. Cool, thank you.
Right. Okay, all done.
With the X-ray clear, the traces for cocaine are put down to contamination, and the man is free to leave. The passport he was carrying on behalf of his sister-in-law was seized and handed over to the Bolivian embassy. Back at Bristol, Officer Joe is still unpacking the masses of cigarettes which have been brought back into the UK illegally from Tenerife.
Did you plan to buy these cigarettes?
Not right there. Not there. But when we got there and we realised what the price was like, yeah.
So you didn't plan to buy them?
Oh, no.
Joe spots something on the woman's luggage tag which makes him doubt their story further.
Who's Mrs. A friend?
Yeah.
So all the bags under the name of Mrs. So who's Mrs.
This is my bag. My name's on that bag.
It was checked in under the name of Mrs.
I'm sorry, but that's
You don't. So you do know Mrs.
Yeah, but we don't know her. I didn't know her name. Yeah.
The 3 bags, all being checked in under someone else's name, makes Joe suspect the cigarettes were never intended for personal use.
The fact that they're all under the same name makes me think that this Mrs. has paid for these people to go to Canary Islands to bring back these cigarettes for her, so they're just basically carrying it for her, I would imagine. Sign here, just to say these goods have been seized from you today, okay? Just get a signature there, please.
With duty in the region of £40 for each sleeve of 200 cigarettes, the 3 passengers almost cost the UK tax system £5,000. Once the paperwork is complete, the passengers are free to leave without their cigarettes. They're given a warning and next time may face prosecution.
Okay, thanks for your time. I don't know. They may be telling the truth. I suspect not.
The cigarettes are bagged up, ready to be destroyed. At Gatwick Airport, the UK border agency isn't just preventing passengers from bringing illegal drugs into the country. thousands of tons of freight passes through the airport every year. And officers work in tandem with sniffer dogs to check packages for illegal substances. Today, Officer Lorna and sniffer dog Diesel have arrived at the cargo hangar to assess a small part of today's consignment.
We're just over at the freight sheds and we're going to cover the freight that's just come off of the Virgin Bridgetown flight. So we'll see what he does. These. Looking for any interest from the dog really, and then one of the anti-smugglers will have a look and see if there's any cocaine or heroin.
As one of the airport's longest-serving dogs, Diesel has sniffed out dozens of Class A drug seizures over the years, making him one of the officer's most valuable assets. And it doesn't take long for him to start showing some interest around one of the packages. The box contains a vacuum cleaner, so officers remove it from its packaging to take a closer look. And Diesel just can't keep away from it. With a suspected drug concealment, there's only one way to find out what's inside.
It looks like two of the screws had glue put on them, so it makes it harder to get inside. As you see, he's nearly getting into it now. He's just dismantling the whole thing, so we'll just see what he can find.
Here's TV. Underneath here, some packages. Oh yeah, black taped packages.
Basically, I've opened up the unit now, and you can just see there's packages here and here. So what we're going to do is get the dog over, have another look at it, and see if the dog indicates.
And almost instantly, Diesel makes another of his trademark indications on the packages inside the vacuum cleaner.
Okay, as you saw, as the dog got close to the scent, it gave a freeze stare indication. Basically, it just freezes at the scent and won't move until the handler throws in a tennis ball, and basically that was a perfect indication. And as you see, the packages are coming out, and they're only small and they look properly tight wrapped. That's why he had to get his nose right on the source of the scent.
All right, what we'll do when we find things like this, we'll do what we call a field test. So I'm going to put some of the powder onto this filter paper, just put this liquid onto it. If it's cocaine, it will just flash up like a very turquoise aquamarine blue. Usually takes less than half a second to a second to do that. See, it's going this turquoise colour straight away. That basically indicates the presence of cocaine on the powder.
It's another impressive find by Diesel. Thanks to his sensitive nose, cocaine worth more than £8,000 will not reach the UK streets. Across at Gatwick's North Terminal, it's business as usual. A flight has just arrived from Dubai, and border agency officers are processing passengers passing through immigration. One passenger from Cameroon has caught the attention of officers after he claimed he'd come to the UK to watch a football match.
These are customs red and green channels. If you've got anything to declare to customs, you need to use the red channel. If you've got any cigarettes, any alcohol, anything like that. If you're not sure, go in the red channel. If you're quite happy you've got nothing like that, you can come to the green channel with me.
I just had my money.
Okay, how much money are you carrying today?
80,000.
80,000?
Yeah.
Is that what currency is that in? Is that in dollars, sterling?
Dollars.
All right, we'll have a chat about that. Come this way.
It's a huge amount of cash for one passenger to be carrying. The man has a lot of questions to answer about exactly what he's doing here, so Officer Chris pulls him aside in the customs channels.
Are all the bags yours? Are all the bags yours?
Yes,
Yeah.
3 bags are mine.
Okay. Did you pack all the bags yourself? You can anything in your bags for anyone else? Is anyone giving you gifts or goods to carry for them into this country?
Nothing.
No, okay. And as well as the cigarettes...
Very simply, he's Cameroonian, but he's also got residency in Thailand. So he's coming here allegedly to see Chelsea play. He's got no idea where the stadium is. He's got no ticket, it would appear. He's got no idea which hotel he's stopping in. He's got no idea who Chelsea are playing.
So what sort of things are you going to do whilst you're here then?
Yeah. I'm gonna buy something.
Yeah. Yeah, please, Tony, don't mind. Just...
Officer Tony steps in to help with the investigation.
My friend is just using a little swabbing device. It just checks if you come into contact with anything like, drugs we spoke about earlier. It's just like a little sniffer dog.
And a small trace reading for cocaine deepens the intrigue.
It shows traces, but it's not hitting the red zone, but still a significant link. So it's up to Chris how he wants to play it.
Whilst going through the man's belongings, Chris has made an unusual discovery.
I'll have a look at some of these for me. These are a bit heavy.
What are they? What are they? What are they? Just hair extensions. Is that your line of business?
This is my business. I have salon. I have my own salon. And I produce this.
Right, let's pack that back out for you.
You can check those, I can pack it.
You sure? Let's save you if you're happy. That's save you a bit of time. Look at that bag next if you like. Thank you.
With suspicious reasons being given for the purpose of his visit, officers will need to take their search to the next level. In the South Terminal, a flight has just landed from Tripoli in Libya. As luggage is being unloaded from the flight, officers have noticed a strange odour coming from a number of suitcases. The luggage is placed back on the carousel, and as the pungent suitcases are collected, the owners are stopped for questioning in the customs channels.
Okay, is it just fish? Nothing else?
Fish, yeah.
Nothing else but fish, yeah?
Just food. My mom, I bring for my brother, sisters, my
Right,
mom, and
yeah, okay, but it all belongs to you, doesn't it?
Yeah, but some I'll give to her.
Well, no, you said, when I asked you the initial questions, you said these bags were yours and yours alone.
No, because I put it on my name. That's what I'm saying.
No,
because
you
if I the kid.
said to me.
Yeah, because it's my name. I cannot lie to you. That's why.
From outside the EU, there's a strict allowance of 20 kilograms of fish per person. It's become apparent that the woman's travelling companions are people she's just met in the baggage hall.
The first time they come in this country, they don't speak English. So I was happy and kept it for them.
Officers suspect that the woman may have befriended the other passengers, so they would unwittingly share her imported food allowance. The first suitcase is stuffed to the brim with smoked fish. So if she's carrying any more, she'll be well over her allowance.
It's just dried smoked fish. It's whether it's dried or wet fish. If you go over the 20 kilos allowance, it's all liable to seizure.
And it doesn't look particularly appetizing. Officers open the woman's second suitcase, which is also stuffed to the brim with smoked fish. It's clear she has well exceeded her allowance.
The regulations are 20 kilos of fish. If you go over that, it's deemed as a commercial amount, and we're entitled to take the whole lot. So in this case, it was about 43 kilos of fish, just for the one passenger.
Despite being way over her allowance, the passenger is far from happy that she'll be leaving with nothing.
Only allowed 20 kilos.
20 kilos? And why don't you give me my 20 kilos?
Because if you exceed your 20 kilo allowance, we're empowered to take the whole lot from you.
Yeah, but I didn't know.
It's your responsibility as a traveller to ensure you know what your allowances are.
It's the aeroplane responsibility to learn people what to bring and how many kilos you have to bring.
It's the airline's responsibility, I'm afraid.
The 43 kilograms of fish are bagged up and ready to be destroyed. The disgruntled woman is given a warning and released. In Gatwick's North Terminal, officers are still investigating a Cameroonian passenger who's carrying over $80,000 US in cash.
Tony, does that say UN security on it?
Looks like it.
The unusual find makes officers suspect that the stamp may be being used for fraudulent purposes.
In his bag, we found a stamp which says UN security code. Why would you have something like that? I think it's probably worth running it by our colleagues in Special Branch, as was called, it's Counter-terrorism unit now. This is very odd. So they may be very interested in that. If you don't want to talk to Jim, no problem. Yep.
Officer Chris heads over to the counter-terrorism team with the suspicious stamp. Meanwhile, his colleague Tony continues his search of the passenger's belongings and investigates the large amount of money he's carrying.
He has rather a lot of cash with him. He's required, when he comes into the EU, to make a declaration of anything more than 10,000 euros. What you need to do is complete this form, The details of what you've got there. This is a leaflet that explains to you what the law is, why you have to make a declaration. Okay? But at the moment what he says he's doing is coming here to, as a tourist, but also to look for stock for his shop because he has a hair salon back where he lives. So he's got quite a bit of cash just to fund the purchases of that as well as his stay here. So obviously as it's more than €10,000 that he has to declare, just waiting for him to do a declaration.
Whilst Chris and Tony were happy that the man's cash was for legitimate business purposes, a further investigation was launched into his dodgy UN stamp. He was taken away by the Counter-terrorism unit for further questioning. After investigation, the Cameroonian traveller found with the UN stamp wasn't allowed into the UK and was deported the following day. In our ports and in our airports, the UK Border Agency is fighting a constant battle against smugglers.
I'm arresting you. Oh dear me.
It's early morning at Gatwick Airport. In the North Terminal, a flight has just touched down from Port of Spain in Trinidad and Tobago. With flights from the Caribbean known to be a popular transit route for drug smugglers, officers use various methods to check passengers arriving in the country. One male passenger has been stopped in the customs channels. He claims to be a student and has come to the UK to visit his aunt. Officers question him further about his travel plans.
Sorry, I heard my colleagues say that somebody helped you pay for your ticket? Yeah. Who paid for your ticket? Your aunt? In Trinidad? Okay. Wow, so you got a club ticket? So you sat in club? How much did you pay?
7,100 TTC.
What's that in sterling?
I don't know.
Roughly, you know?
It goes like £600.
£600, wow. For a club ticket, that's good.
But this wasn't the man's original ticket.
So the first ticket was a return ticket?
Which I couldn't follow back.
So you couldn't follow that back because you were late?
Yeah.
Do you have your return ticket with you?
No, I don't have that here.
Okay. All right. Just going to get an iron trap for you.
Yeah.
Not much baggage there, is there? You got no other baggage?
No.
That was it?
That's all.
Wow, travelling light. The guy's come in from a week's trip to Trinidad. He's a student here, so he's obviously not earning lots of money. His baggage doesn't support the fact that he could travel as a club passenger, and so it just doesn't look like a very good story at the moment, but we'll see. I'm just going to do a narcotics swab. Have you used any drugs while you've been away? No. Okay.
Officer Andy swabs each of the man's bags to see if he's come into contact with any drugs. The swab comes back negative, but a concerned Andy still isn't happy.
It just doesn't tie together, so we're going to search him. We've got sufficient grounds to search him, and then we're going to consider whether we want to put him through the X-ray to see if he's got anything inside him.
The man is taken to a private room to be searched. But after finding nothing, Andy decides to follow his instinct and take the man for an X-ray.
You get to know what's normal, and so when you get something that's unusual, it sticks out.
The man agrees to do a full body scan. Officers will find out shortly whether their hunch about the student passenger was correct. At Birmingham Airport, hundreds of passengers are waiting to board planes for worldwide destinations. In the departure lounge, passengers carrying cash are being stopped to ensure they have no links to criminal activity.
Right, where does this money come from?
Officers have the power to question passengers carrying over 1,000 euros in cash, and anything over 10,000 euros must be declared. A couple waiting to board a flight to Dubai have been stopped. The male passenger has admitted to carrying £3,000 in cash, and officers want to find out more.
So will you show me the money so that I can have a wee look at it? In total, sir, you told me you had £3,000. There is more than that here, and now we have another 2 envelopes. Right, I asked you how much money in total, no? Right, so whose money is this?
Mine.
Right, so that's your money, and this is your money. Okay? Do you know how much you have in here, sir?
Officer Dell steps in as a translator.
Between that one, two, and this one. Between this one. So when I asked you how much you had and you said 3, and you've got 5 here and 4 here, that would have been a lie then, sir? Is there any more money in this bag? Okay, just leave it, I'll check it.
Having been lied to already, officers want to search the bags for themselves.
Did you forget about this money?
Family members.
Right, but can you say to him, I asked him had he any more money and he said no, this is obviously money.
As the money keeps on coming, officers need to find out where it's all come from.
So is he working?
The man explains that he doesn't work and his wife only works part-time. The thousands of pounds suddenly look decidedly dodgy.
What bank account did he take the money from? Does he have the card or a receipt? And let him know that I'm going to phone the bank and check he's telling me the truth. Can he show me his wallet?
The man's bank card will be used to run checks, but as he hands over his wallet, even more cash is discovered.
How much is in here?
That's more money from, probably more money from the relatives.
The evasive answers are starting to become frustrating.
What I'm looking at is to get is the source of the cash just now. But if I wasn't working, I wouldn't have £8.5 grand in my pocket.
As the flight time approaches, officers urgently need some answers about where the money has come from, or the couple risk having all of their cash seized. Back at Gatwick, a student passenger from Trinidad and Tobago, who's suspected of swallowing packages of drugs, has agreed to an X-ray of his body.
And breathe out. All the way and stop. Stand still, stand still, stand still. Okay, you can start breathing again.
The results come back immediately.
And I would say that this gentleman is full of packages.
Caught red-handed, the man looks resigned to his fate.
We've got a swallower in the North Terminal off the Port of Spain. He's just had an X-ray, just confessed to swallowing 60-odd packages, and we'll be bringing him over very shortly.
With potentially lethal packages inside him, the man's safety is now the main concern.
All I would say to you is that the sooner you can get rid of these packages from inside of you, the better. It's obviously very dangerous for you to have them inside you. Okay? You all right? Okay. He's asked to go to the toilet, so we shall take him into our special toilet suite. We'll have to sit and watch him, unfortunately, and hopefully he'll start the process of producing packages.
The toilet the man will use is a special facility that will collect any packages he passes, so they can be cleaned and kept as evidence. And it doesn't take long for him to start producing the goods.
There is one package there that you've just produced. I have to tell you that is now seized as forfeit. Quite clean, but he's obviously struggling. It's quite a big package. So he now wants to have something to eat and drink to try and force the natural process. Could be up to 5 grams a package if they're all that sort of size. So half a kilo coke, something like that, inside him.
Half a kilo of cocaine is worth approximately £25,000. It's a sizable discovery for the officers, but a very dangerous pursuit for the man.
We have a duty of care just to keep an eye on him and make sure that if we see anything untoward, we can get there very quickly.
All they can do now is wait for nature to take its course. Back in Birmingham, officers are still trying to establish the origins of £8,500 in cash that a couple are carrying in their hand luggage.
If he only gets £48 a week, he'll be in income support.
The couple's income from benefits and a part-time job don't even cover their monthly outgoings.
Is there a mortgage? Is there a mortgage at
672.
Yeah. Otherwise, money's coming from them.
Officers are struggling to understand how the couple could have saved such a substantial amount of cash.
He's only on benefit, so to have £8.5 grand with that amount of money coming in, it doesn't seem plausible.
Anyone claiming benefits in the UK must inform the Department for Work and Pensions when going abroad.
Has he notified the DWP he's travelling today?
Was it this year? DWP this year? No, he's not informed.
Okay. Don't worry, we'll let them know. If you get their national insurance numbers, I'll phone DWP and check.
Concerned that they may be defrauding the UK tax system, officers will leave no stone unturned in their checks of the couple.
I've got a guy just now stopped him. He initially had £3 grand, he's now up to £8.5 grand. He's on benefit. The money doesn't even kind of match up. I'm thinking of just doing a referral with DWP after speaking to them, but I just want to check with you before I let them go.
Officers wouldn't want the couple to miss their flight unnecessarily, so if the fraud investigation team agree, the couple will be investigated on their return.
Okay, cheers boss, thanks, bye-bye.
With permission granted, the couple are allowed to continue their journey, but will be asked further questions on their return.
If we can prove a link to the money, if it comes from a proceed of crime, then we would seize the cash. There's no direct proof there that the gentleman's committed any offence. It was just the fact he'd lied initially that drew my suspicions.
With seconds to spare, the couple eventually make their flight to Dubai.
Bye-bye.
At Gatwick Airport South Terminal, a flight has arrived from Bridgetown in Barbados. As a known source area for the production of Class A drugs, border agency officers are scanning suitcases to search for any illegal substances. In the airport's custody suite, one male passenger from the flight has been arrested on suspicion of bringing a controlled drug into the country. The X-ray has revealed hidden concealments in the corners of his suitcases.
So I'm a custody officer. Okay, my role here is to ensure you're given your rights. Any comments?
Just that I was unaware that what I brought through.
Officer Niels takes the two suspect suitcases away to be examined further.
This bag came off the British Airways flight from Bridgetown this morning, and while the bags were being unloaded, became suspicious about the riveting on the sides of the case. They don't look original. If you have a look here, a bit closer, you'll see there's a ridge here, which is quite thick. Normally they wouldn't be like as thick as that.
The contents of the suitcase are removed to get a better look at the hidden concealments. Photographic evidence is taken of the discoveries.
Looks like there's a concealment here underneath the corner. There's like a black package.
And with a similar package found in every corner, the second case also needs to be examined for hidden concealments.
Okay, right. Go. So we'll just see what we suspect is in here. If you look closer, you can actually see where they've taken the original screws out and they put new bolts in, rivets in. You see it all the way around.
As the man waits in a cell to find out what his fate may be, officers conduct a field test on the substance found in the suitcases.
If it's what we think it's going to be cocaine hydrochloride. The reaction would be a turquoise blue colour. There we are. And you can see it straight away. There we are. There's a nice reaction there. We think there's probably a reasonable amount, so about a kilogram in each case. So we're looking at about 2 kilos probably.
2 kilos of cocaine has an approximate street value of £100,000. It was an audacious attempt at smuggling a huge amount of drugs. The man was eventually taken to court and, despite pleading not guilty, was sentenced to 7 years in prison. At Gatwick's North Terminal, another flight has just come in from the Caribbean.
Hey guys, you just come through single file right over to the right-hand side for me, please.
With a spate of recent drug seizures, passengers from Jamaica are rigorously checked by drug detection dogs as they disembark the flight. Border agency officers working in immigration have become suspicious of one male passenger's reasons for entering the country, so he's taken aside for questioning.
Who gave you that suitcase? Who gave you that? What was his name? Sorry? Danny.
The passenger appears nervous, so Officer Paul wants to find out the true nature of his visit to the UK.
Do you have any goods to declare? Okay, if you want to pop your bag up here for me, please. You've come in from Nicaragua. You flew to Panama.
Yes.
Then you went to Kingston.
Yes.
Okay, what did you do whilst you were in Kingston?
Just stay one night.
Yeah.
Then I took the taxi. Then I came out to the airport. Yeah.
Okay, and this case, was it given to you in Nicaragua?
Yes.
Why didn't you use your own case?
It was too small. I don't have too much space to put everything.
Right, okay.
The man told immigration he came to the UK to visit his fiancée, but Paul wants to know more details.
So what are you going to do whilst you're here?
Just visiting, know my fiancé family.
When did you get engaged? What month?
One month, March.
When you get out of here today, where are you going to?
I'm going to Silverstone by car with my brother-in-law, Sarah.
So they're waiting for you outside?
Yes, but I have to. Yeah, but I have to pay the gas.
You have to what?
Pay the gas. Petrol.
Yeah, you have to pay the petrol.
Yes.
So who's actually picking you up?
Sarah.
Sarah's picking you up.
Sarah and David.
Your fiance's picking you up.
Yes, Sarah.
And you have to pay the petrol. Right. Okay. I'm just going to have a quick look at your bag then.
A routine search of the man's bag is carried out. With his suspicious story, Paul wants to rule out the possibility he's carrying any drugs.
And how much did your ticket cost you to fly to the UK?
1,100.
1,100 US dollars.
Yes.
And where did you get that money from?
From working. I have to sell out to become money from here.
You've sold everything.
The man continues to be quizzed about his visit to the UK, but his answers to basic questions are still unconvincing.
How long have you known her for?
2 years and a half.
3.5 years?
Yes, no, 2 years. 2 years and a half.
How long?
2 years. I met her on the 30th of December of 1998.
1998?
Yeah.
1998?
Yeah.
That's 12 years ago.
No, sorry, 2008.
2008.
Nothing unusual has been found in the man's bag, but his nervous behavior and story discrepancies make officers suspect he may not be telling the truth.
You use drugs at all? No, never.
You could use my blood and test it.
Okay. Are you happy to have an X-ray?
An X-ray?
Yeah, just to make sure you haven't swallowed anything.
Like here?
No, an X-ray, a scan, body X-ray.
Yeah, no problem.
No problem.
Yes, no problem. You could scan, no problem.
I'm thinking now it's probably more likely to be an immigration issue. So we're going to do a quick SOP on him, a quick scan, just to make sure there's nothing, and then take him back to immigration.
In a few minutes, any goods the passenger may be hiding on his body will be revealed. It's not just passengers that the border agency search for drugs. In the freight terminal, an illegal concealment has been found in some packages from South America.
Okay, what we have here is a courier package. It's coming from, appears to be a private individual going to a company in London. 3 old books in total. Pages have been glued together and hollowed out to reveal a package of cocaine.
A field test is conducted to confirm the substance definitely is cocaine.
Some cocaine out. Should go a lovely turquoise colour. Oh, there we go. This concealment is a bit of an old-fashioned one, really. I haven't seen this for quite a while. I mean, we've got about 2.5 to 3 kilos of cocaine.
But something else has been found amongst the packages.
They've done a letter to try and give it some credibility. Dear Stephen, things here are very difficult anyway. We keep working and trying to survive. The other 15 books you asked me, I'm searching for them. Greeting to Tony and Steffi. Big hug. And as long as I find the other books, I'll be sending them to you. So maybe they'll have another go.
It's a seizure worth over £100,000.
Further inquiries will be made into the background of this, and consideration will be made whether it can be done under a controlled delivery, and see if anyone can be picked up, arrested and charged for the importation.
Back at Gatwick's North Terminal, officers speaking to a passenger from Nicaragua have discovered another reason to doubt the legitimacy of his visit to the UK.
Who's Giselle McCoy then? Who is Giselle?
I don't really like
Giselle, was it? McCoy?
It's like something in work.
But whose is it?
Find it. I don't know.
You found them?
Yeah.
That's not really an explanation, is it?
That's a crime here?
There's a crime anywhere in the world.
No.
They're not your credit cards.
Like for example, if somebody find my credit card, he cannot use it. My bank won't pay.
If someone finds your credit card, they can use it.
No, they cannot. My bank.
You haven't come up and given me a reasonable explanation as to why you have 3 credit cards and named somebody else. Okay?
With more holes in the man's story, it's hoped that a body search will provide some answers.
Just going to do a quick search person. We need to search you. Make sure you're not carrying anything you shouldn't be, okay?
In Jamaica?
No, here. We're going to search you here.
The passenger reveals that he's already been subjected to a body search at the start of his journey in Jamaica, as they too thought he was suspicious.
It's only going to be a rub down. I'm just going to rub your body down, okay? Just make sure you haven't got anything on you.
Yeah.
And if you pass me your shoes.
A routine swab test will be done on his shoes, but officers are more concerned by what they've already found.
He's got 3 credit cards in the name of another lady, and he can't come up with any explanation as to why he's got them. And he's pretty much refusing to answer as to why he's got them as well. He just keeps saying he's found them, and then he said he knew the woman. So it's negative.
A negative reading suggests he's not carrying any packages, but his story is suspicious enough to put him through the X-ray.
Just stand facing that way when I say go. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Breathe out.
Despite the man's nervous behaviour, as the scanned images come through, it's clear he's no drug smuggler.
Can't say anything now, can you?
No. I'd say it's clear.
Okay, that's clear. We're going to take you back upstairs to the immigration officer now, okay? So I'm going to hold on to this in the meantime, all right, and hand it to them. Okay.
With nothing found on the scan, the man is escorted back to immigration. He was eventually denied entry into the UK and was deported back to Jamaica the following day. The Trinidadian student who smuggled drugs inside his body eventually passed 62 packages and was sentenced to 6 years in prison.